Making encaustic tree paintings, exploring states of matter, you're going to want to start with cardstock paper or paper that's kind of weighty. And basically, I like to do this project in the fall time when the leaves are changing color and everything. The students really like making trees from it. But I show them how to make a basic tree using shapes that they're very familiar with. They know to make a trunk. They can color it in a little bit, but really the basic shape is all that matters at this point. I have my students think about the letter Y, and I show them pictures of trees and what it looks like when they start to branch out. And you look at an individual tree branch and it splits again. The tip of that branch, it's going to split again, just like a letter Y each time. And you have them get this basic shape first. And have them add lots of branches onto it. Each time the letter Y's get a little bit smaller, but you'll have more and more options. You can add in another larger letter Y. It's got to split again a bunch. It's okay if the branches overlap. This step really doesn't take more than about 2 or 3 minutes to do. You're going to want to give your students the most time that they can with the essential tool for this project, which is a cray pen. That's C-R-A-Y-P-E-N. It is a specialized tool. It works a lot like a hot glue gun, but you use the tip of it to melt down crayons. You stick it in and it'll melt it down. It'll turn that crayon, that wax, from a solid state into a liquid state. And then from there you can use that liquid state crayon a lot like paint. You can layer it up and dry it. So there's our basic tree shape. I don't have them do the ground yet because I have them use the cray pens for all of that. Here's some student examples though. But using the cray pens, they just dip it in the crayon and then dip it on the page. Emphasize safety over and over and over and over again. Hot wax is dangerous and students will get burned. Make sure they have tissues, go through all of the safety procedures, make sure you're familiar with how to use a cray pen before you have your students do it. Give a very good demonstration for them first and lay out strict consequences for not following instructions, like immediate dismissal. So just emphasize the importance of safety in it. But I want to show you some of the student works. You can see how the texture can be built up. As it goes from a liquid to a solid, you can actually build up to it. You can mix the different crayon shapes or crayon colors together, and it'll work just like real encaustic painting. And then after they've been mixed together, they can dry and leave this beautiful texture, and they can be built up to gain more texture. Now I don't have them fill in the sky, and I don't have them necessarily fill in the ground except for the leaves that are falling down on the ground, because we also will watercolor over these later after they're dry in a separate session. So drawing the basic shape of the tree, crayon works great because you actually don't have to go back over it again. Emphasize that your tree trunk doesn't have to be brown. Okay, it can be all sorts of different colors. But I just love the texture you get. It actually bumps off the page. The students love doing this project so much. In a second session, after that's done, I basically just get out watercolors and I show them how the wax and the water repel each other, so it's not going to mess up their picture to do watercolor over the top. And we talk about evaporation as being the third state of matter. So we've used solid wax, liquid gas, and also evaporation with the watercolor. Water goes away, to talk about our 3 states of matter and how artists use those different states of matter and the changes between them to help us to make pictures. Coincides perfectly with science curriculum for 4th grade.